Hey everyone, as a request, these are solutions to questions 6, 7, and 8 from the questions I posted on our Brightspace. They are the A and T style extended questions, and they'll help you prepare for the test coming up. 6, 7, and 8 are actually questions that were taken from Miss Neshi Pork's sort of brain teasing questions that she wrote on the board. I thought they were really good, and so I presented them to you as part of the exercises. 6, 7, and 8. Okay, let's just get started. In question 6, there's a lot to unpack, but I'm going to assume there are certain things you do know. When it's asking for tangent, you know there's going to be a derivative involved. Okay? And number 2, let's say you were asked this on a test. There are certain things that you can pull out from here, even without understanding what you're supposed to do. There's a parabola, ax squared plus bx, who has a tangent with y equals 3x minus 2 at the point 1, 1. So it implies that 1, 1 is part of the equation, part of the parabola, and from 1, 1, there is a tangent with the equation negative 3x minus 2. So that red arrow equals y 3x minus 2. Okay? So the parabola could look like this. The parabola could look like this. Like, I have no idea. I'm just going to assume that it looks something like that. Okay? What I do know, though, is at this point, the slope, the instantaneous rate of change, should have a slope of 3. Okay, this tangent has a slope of 3, which means the y prime of the parabola should also have a value of 3 when x equals 1. I said a lot. So let's try this out. If y equals ax squared plus bx, that means the derivative of the parabola should be 2ax plus b, and the derivative at x equals 1, which is 2a times 1 plus b, should equal 3. Why? Because we know that the tangent is going to equal 3. Let's keep going. 2a plus b equals 3. This is one equation. I'm going to call that equation number 1. And from what you know, if you have two variables you are looking for, from the linear system of equations exercises all the way back in grade 10, you should know that there are two equations you need if you have two variables you're looking for. So you're looking for another equation. Where do you get that? From the parabola itself. You know that when x equals 1, y equals 1. Therefore, since y equals ax squared plus bx, and you know that 1 is equal to a times 1 plus b times 1, here is your second equation. And the rest is history. Whether you want to do elimination or substitution or whatever way that you want, you should be able to solve for a and b alone. I noticed that 2a plus b equals 3 and a plus b equals 1. B is equal to each other, so I am going to subtract both as elimination. 2a minus a is 1a. b minus b is 0. 3 minus 1 is a 2. Good. If a is a 2, a plus something equals 1. B has to be a negative 1. Therefore, the parabola is 2x squared minus x. Done. Excuse me. Moving on to question 7. For what values of a and b is the line 2x plus y equals b tangent to the parabola y equals ax squared when x equals 2? Okay, once again, a lot to unpack just from one sentence, but it's going to involve some kind of derivative. It is going to involve plugging in an x into, plugging in a 2 for every x, so on and so forth. Okay? Here we have a very similar question, b and a, two variables we're looking for. So probably in my mind, I'm looking for two equations to substitute or eliminate. I am going to turn this line equation into y equals mx plus b because it's easier for me to process or easier for me to manipulate, in my head at least. This line, negative 2x plus b, is tangent to this parabola. That means the value of negative 2 is the slope when x equals 2. Y prime of the parabola, or dy dx, is equal to 2ax. Right? So you see some similarities with the previous question. The derivative of the parabola is 2ax, and when x equals 2, that would be 2a times 2, which is 4a, and 4a must equal the slope of that tangent, which means a equals negative 2 over 4, a equals half. That tells you a lot. If a is a half, that means we already know what the slope is going to be. If a is negative half, we know what the y value is going to be. So if we know what the x value is going to be, and we know what the y value is going to be, we can figure out the b value, which gives us the last piece we know. Here we go. So taking this, we know y is equal to, the parabola is equal to negative half x squared. If x equals 2, y is going to be 2 squared, which is a 4 times half, that's going to be a negative 2. So let's bring that over here. If y is a negative 2 when x equals 2, what's my b value? We have negative 2 equals negative 4 plus 2. B is equal to negative 2 plus 4. Bam. A is half. B is 2. Done. Well, that's good. Here comes question 8. Now, please, here's a huge disclaimer. 8 is a hot mess. All right? We are looking for 1, 2, 3, 4 different variables. That gives us a horizontal tangent, in other words, a slope of 0 at points x equals negative 2 and x equals 2. And knowing that we're looking for 4 different values, you can imagine we're going to have 4, unless anything happens, 4 different equations. Okay, let's hope it works out nicely. First off, because we're dealing with horizontal tangents, in other words, slopes of 0, I first need to calculate the derivative of f of x. Here we go. 3a x squared plus 2b x plus c, and d, of course, turns into a 0 when we derive by constant rule. Next, I know that these are going to equal 0, so f prime is going to equal a 0 when x equals a 2. So let's try it. 3a times negative 2 squared, 2b times negative 2 plus c equals a 0. Here we go. So 12a minus 4b plus c equals a 0. At the same time, I've got f prime of positive 2 is also going to equal a 0 because that's the horizontal tangent. We have 3a 2 squared, 2 squared is a 4 plus 2b positive 2 plus c equals a 0. So 12a plus 4b plus c equals a 0. Oh, interesting. Okay. Consider this. If I take equation 1, let me highlight, and I take equation 2, and I'm going to highlight, I'm going to take 2 minus 1. This is going to be 12a plus 4b plus, 2 plus 1. 12a minus 4b plus c equals a 0. I have 24a, 0, 2c equals 0. Divide both sides by 2. I have 12a plus c equals 0. And, sorry, I realize that I haven't been moving much. I'll close that. I look a little bit weird. C is equal to negative 12a, right? And that's it. That's it. And from here, oh, sorry about that. From here, a lot of interesting things happen. If C is a proportion of A and we bring it back to any of these equations, you learn something about B. So let's just because I'm here, let's plug it in. We have 12A plus 4B plus C. Negative 12A equals 0. 12A, negative 12A, they cancel out. 4B equals a 0. That means B is a 0. Nice. Okay, so we have B equals 0. C is a proportion of A. And we move on. So where can we, I'm going to highlight this part right here in green because that's one of my answers. Where can we find other equations to identify A, C, and D? Well, we've got an x value and a y value. We can actually plug x and y into the original function to give us other equations. Here we go. You're not going to be happy with this, but here we go. We've got f at negative 2 is equal to a times negative 2 cubed plus b times negative 2 squared plus c times negative 2 plus d, and that equals a 6. And I hope I got that right. Yeah. This is equal to a 6. Luckily, b is going to equal 0, right? We don't need to worry about that. So we have 6 equals negative 8a minus 2c plus d. At the same time, if I plug in a 2, I should have a 0. So we've got positive 8a plus b times 4 plus c times 2 plus d, and that equals a 0. But since, again, b is a 0, that's going to cancel out. I've got 0 equals 8a plus 2c plus d. This is equation 3. This is equation 4. I'm going to I'm going to compare those. So I'm going to bring 4 over. This is 0 equals 8a plus 2c plus d. Just because a and 8a, negative 8a, they're going to cancel out, I'm going to add them together. We've got 6 equals 0 plus 0 plus 2d. D is equal to a 3. Interesting. Okay, let's keep going. D is 3. All right, so just because I don't have any space here, how about I bring D on this side? 0 is equal to 8a plus 2 times c plus d. We have 8a minus 24a plus 3, which is equal to negative 16a plus 3. A is equal to negative 3 divided by negative 16, or positive 3 over 16. And if I have A, I can figure out C, because C is right here. That means C is equal to negative 12 times 3 over 16. That is negative 9 over 4. That's it. So here's my function. F of x is equal to a x cubed plus 0bx minus 9 over 4x plus 3. Wild, huh? But still doable. And all thanks to this thing called a derivative. Hope these questions were helpful. Keep on racking your brain and you'll do well. See you next time.